Now, there's no doubt about it that by far one of the most anticipated Star Wars TV shows of 2023 is indeed the Ahsoka Tano series starring actress Rosario Dawson for a multitude of reasons, a lot of which has to do with the fact that it is going to embrace the mythology side of Star Wars, right? We're talking about the Force, the Cosmic Force, the Jedi, the dark side, all of these beloved aspects of the franchise will be a main focus of the Ahsoka Tano series. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between FAVREAU, Filoni, and of course George is that they are all really trying to attempt to revive Star Wars legends. Meanwhile, on the Kathleen Kennedy end of the spectrum, she's really trying to shy away from George Lucas's vision of Star Wars, and we've seen this time and time again. So what John and Dave are doing right now is basically where the rubber meets the road. Things are finally beginning to move forward and actually get rolling, and things are really moving ahead. And that's what I love so much about Favreau and Filoni, is that there's no gimmicks, there's no games or, things being played in between. They just do what they want to do, and they just propel forward. Now that brings us to the next thing of what's going on behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, and why Lucasfilm and of course Kathleen Kennedy are now in trouble under Disney executives, and exactly how it really led to all of this we will explain in just a couple of seconds. It does involve one of the big Star Wars projects that are being worked on the roadmap as we speak. Now with that being said, of course, with many new Star Wars TV shows in the works by John and Dave. However, behind the scenes, it's noted that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy is creating more problems behind the scenes for the Star Wars franchise when it comes to her latest demands toward the Disney executives. Now, it's noted that Lucasfilm is in big trouble with one of their upcoming releases that has met yet another setback for Disney executives to deal with now, and that, of course, this is no other than the Acolyte series. It's described that Kathleen Kennedy decided at last minute to hire a new Star Wars director to handle the series and is having Leslye Headland erase even more material that Favreau and Filoni helped fix for the Acolyte show. So again, in case you guys were out of the loop about this, Favreau and Filoni stepped in under the demands by Disney's execs to come in and fix elements of the script and to actually take control over 5 whole episodes. Meanwhile, Kathleen Kennedy took part of the other 4. Now that they're gone, Kathleen Kennedy has pretty much all control again over all of the episodes, seemingly at this point. Now, the next thing is that this is something that has made Disney executives very frustrated with Kennedy's latest attempt at deconstructing George Lucas's vision with Star Wars that was going to be implemented into the Acolyte as a quick fix to help save the series. Now, with Kennedy now erasing more lore that's related to the Old Republic flashback scenes and some of the intense lightsaber duels that Favreau and Filoni made Leslye Headland write, Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, this is where it gets interesting, was able to step in and really give Kennedy the biggest ultimatum of all. The ultimatum is described to be a demand by Bob Chapek that if she makes any further cancellation attempts or changes to John and Dave's work, that they are prepared to shut down this project in a microsecond. Again, like I said before, at least a year and a half ago, I always saw this project as really being a very risky one, not just because of the fact that Kathleen Kennedy was involved. That's not the only reason, let's be real. But it's the fact of how Leslye Headland is involved. And she is the writer. She is the one that actually openly said that she is not a Star Wars fan, that she never watched the prequel trilogy films. She watched bits and pieces, but she never watched them from start to finish. She was very clear about that. And that really worries me, and it worries a lot of fans out there, because this kind of gives us flashbacks to what Joby Harold said, what Rupert Friend said. By the way, Rupert Friend played the Grand Inquisitor in the Kenobi series, stating that he never watched or even dealt with watching the Clone Wars on purpose. I don't understand the logic in that. I never did. I never even know why they even openly say that. It does more harm than good. Why even make that known? I have no clue. It really comes off like it's some kind of agenda. I don't know what it is. But next to that, alright, is where things really get really interesting about what Disney executives are now pushing on the Lucasfilm crew handling the Acolyte series. Alright? So, they are now demanding Kennedy to keep the John and Dave material that's left, and Kennedy has no choice now but to leave the rest of their work in the series. What was deleted from the script is done and done, however only created a ripple effect of issues with the other aspects of the story for the plot. Now, like I say, what's done is done with what she deleted for the Acolyte series that was handled by FAVREAU and Filoni. Unfortunately, that's the hard truth. Whatever's left is left, and they're gonna have to find ways to use the remaining FAVREAU and Filoni material. This is, by the way, why they left. Kathleen Kennedy was just wreaking havoc on the show, causing so many problems. I mean, you know, when you think about it like this, right? Star Wars fans want a positive, fun experience. They don't want a creator such as Leslye Headland that does not believe in Star Wars or what it really stands for to just come on board and literally just obliterate George Lucas's path or vision. And that really seems like what their plan is. This show, alright, I know some of you are excited about it, that's fine, and I myself have no right to really judge the show just yet, you know, because we have seen no shred of footage as of yet, just descriptions of footage, and the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is on board with Leslye really doesn't give me all that much hope. That's my ultimate, you know, honest truth there about my feelings about the show so far. But when we look at everything related to this scenario of what has been happening in the past couple of weeks, there was a glimmer of hope when John and Dave come on board to help fix the actual show with 5 episodes, to propel the story in a different direction. It didn't work out for them. Too much of a toxic environment, too drama-driven, and they left. And you know what? I don't blame them. Nobody wants to be in a scenario like that. Not in the film industry, not in the workplace, not at home. Never, ever, ever. Nobody wants to deal with that. So, I respect them for leaving. Is it, you know, unfortunate that they left? Yes, I get that too. But we'll have to wait and see how it all turns out in the end, because there is residual FAVREAU and Filoni story elements that were left in there. All thanks to Bob Chapek for demanding that to happen and giving Kennedy this much needed ultimatum for the franchise. Alright, so this is what was needed to be done by Bob Chapek to Kathleen Kennedy. So beyond all of this, guys, you know, I would love to hear what you have to say about this entire situation right now, what's happening, and what's going on with Kathleen Kennedy and the Acolyte show as a whole. There's a lot of problems coming out of this, and if you guys really did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.